your vacuum line that you took off, so you can put a little cap over that. All right, hey guys, what's going on? Brian here. Pretty common question on that last video with the oil change is, yo dude, how do you do the Kleen Air Mod? What's the Kleen Air Mod? How's it work? How do you have yours set up? This is the way I do it. There is like 3 or 4 different ways I've heard of people doing it now, and how I've tried every single one of them, and this is the one that's worked for me. What the Kleen Air Mod is, I guess I'll knock that out first. There's a hose that comes stock that runs in between the base of your motor here and up to your airbox. It lets the engine breathe, and it lets it breathe clean air, which is awesome if you're staying level to the ground and riding it how a normal 636 should be ridden. But if you are wheeling it and 12 o'clocking and stuff, think of the bike standing straight up. That motor oil is now going to come into the airbox and essentially seize up your motor, or shut it off. It's just going to mousetrap you over the bike when you're doing a wheelie. So you don't want that to happen. So what all the stunners do is a thing called the Kleen Air Mod. There's a few ways, but this is the way that's worked for me. Once again, there's 2 parts that we need to go over for the Kleen Air Mod. The first being the airbox. I'll show you guys the airbox, what you have to do to it. So everything looks good up top. You don't do anything up top. Everything's on the bottom here. There is 3 holes that you need to plug. The first was the hose that's running up into your airbox. The second is like a breather hose that ran out the side, and then the third is one that comes off your vacuum lines. So you want all 3 of these plugged. I just did them with bolts. Some guys do them with like Gorilla Glue. Other guys do them with JB Weld. Whatever works. You need to plug them though, because that'll be unfiltered air getting into your airbox. You need to go through your air filter first, of course. So you need all 3 of these holes plugged. I just did them with bolts, and then I think I put Gorilla Glue like right around the bolts, and then I electric taped around them. There's 3 bolts. That's it. The airbox is super easy. Put that aside now. Now into the more difficult part, and the part that you're gonna need to go to Home Depot or something like that for, instead of going on to a place like the Six Shop or Tactical Minds or wherever you guys are getting your stunt parts from. And that is, you need to get 5/8 hosing, get about 8 feet. You need to get one of these little breathers. You can go to AutoZone and get one of those. They're like $10. And then get some hose clamps. Pretty easy. You need a brass, or not a brass tee, but like a plastic or a brass tee right there. All 5/8, of course. And then a 5/8 hose adapter that runs down into the valve cover. I'll get into that. And then a 5/8 like a dual-sided hose adapter that'll plug from the hose into your air filter. I'm gonna get this light out of here. Hopefully it's light enough. But yeah, so it's a parts list of about five things. It's gonna run you about $30 compared to the Six Shop, which I think is $70 or $60. I think Tactical Minds is right about the same. And it's not this version of the Kleen Air Mod, which I'm about to show you. If you are going to do this, you need to do it this way. I'll get the most, I guess, debated over part over first. I tap into the valve cover. That means that you take the whole valve cover off, you drill a 5/8 hole into it, and you have a hose adapter that runs out the top. You have a little piece of 5/8 tubing right there that connects to the T. This T, this hose runs from the bottom of the motor, so where your engine needs to breathe from, and the other part of it runs up here, which I just have tucked into my frame nicely, and it runs up to the filter, which I'm gonna plug in there. I just went and got another one because I haven't changed mine in about a year, so I went and got another one. So I thought it was an appropriate time to do this video anyway, and it goes up to your hose filter. Other than that, I mean, there's not that much to say about it. You have your 5/8 tubing that runs under your fuel injectors up here to your T, and that's about it. you need to plug your vacuum line that you took off. So you can put a little cap over that or whatever, but you need to plug that because you'll lose a lot of performance, of course, out of your bike. And that whole pair system, everything up here, that's gone. Just rip it off. You don't need it. The tubing that used to go all in here, rip it out. You don't need it. Same with these valve blocks up here. You can put block off plates on them. You can put tubing in between them. You can take them off and put JB Weld in them, like how I did. It doesn't really matter. But for this 5/8 hose adapter that goes in there, you're gonna need some JB Weld or some quick sealer and whatnot. You're gonna thread it in and then seal around it on the top and the bottom. Sorry, I'm not gonna take apart my whole engine again for this video, but it's not the whole engine. You just take off the valve cover, which is 6 bolts there. It's not a big deal, but that's about it to get your hose adapter. And then run it up to the top of the frame. As long as your breather's on top of the frame, you're good. And I guess I'll run over the other way to do it that I ran for a while. And it's not a bad way. You just lose a little bit of oil here and there. And it's a lot easier. You don't do any of this. You don't tap into your valve cover. You don't do anything. You still need to do the block off plates, but you don't need the T. You don't need the breather anywhere else. You just run this hose straight up here, straight up to this, boom, breather right there. Super simple. If you guys aren't, parking on the 12 bar and like staying on 12 o'clock for a while, don't worry about this whole setup. At least what I would say. But what this does though is run your oil back to the top of your engine, and it keeps it circulating and in that same motion. So it's better for the motor to do it this way. It takes a little bit more work, but it's worth it. Never blown motor. Don't leak oil this way. Used to leak oil. But yeah, that is what it is. I hope this video was informative for you guys. I hope I answered your questions. Like always, if you have questions still, please leave them in the comments. I'm pretty good about getting back to them. Let me know what you guys thought of the video. Give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and share it with your other friends that are building their stunt bikes and want an actual Kleen Air Mod that'll work. So, all right, guys. Enjoyed doing the video for you. Telling you have a good weekend. Be safe. Hey.